Welcome into a fresh hour of HQ. I'm Emily Proud. Tommy Tran joining us in just a bit. But first, remember this, it all happened yesterday. Another wild Sunday in the NFL. First Sunday in NFL history with multiple pick sixes, blocked field goals, and punts returned for a touchdown. What a day for DST fantasy teams. We also had some wild results, like that one up in the top corner. Previously winless Panthers, 30-0 win over the Falcons, just as we all predicted. But I got good news. Week 3 is not over yet. The Lions and Ravens meeting on Monday Night Football. They rank number 1 and number 2 in the NFL in scoring offense and total offense over the last 3 seasons. So get ready to see some points. And Tommy, maybe a potential Super Bowl preview?
Yeah, Emily, I don't think anybody would be objecting to that. We welcome in Douzable and Ran Carthon to talk about this Monday night affair. And guys, if you like offense, this is the game for you. And both teams coming off nice performances, especially on that side of the ball. But Lige, what excites you most about tonight's matchup?
I want to see, can the Lions take that home cooking on the road, right? We saw them in week 1 versus Green Bay get suffocated on offense, and people were wondering, well, because they lost Ben Johnson, can this offense get it together? We know John Morton was there. He left, went to Denver, and came back. Now they play a Ravens team on the road who is going to be out with some of their key defensive players, right? Can they get that run game going like they did versus the Green Bay Packers? To me, that's the biggest storyline. Can the Lions take that home cooking on the road?
And for me, I think the hidden key for this game is, can the Lions keep Jared Goff upright? And we know coming into this game, Nnamdi Madubuike may be out, Cal Van Noy may be out, who are 2 key pieces, especially for this pass rush. But Detroit ranks 9th in the NFL, only allowing 4 sacks. They've only allowed 4 sacks so far. But Baltimore's defense, even with those guys I just mentioned, they rank 24th, only having 3 sacks on the season. And if they can keep Jared Goff upright, the Detroit Lions are 5th in the league in passing right now in terms of passing yards per game. And Baltimore's pass defense is 31st, allowing 298 yards per game. And we know that if Jared Goff can stay upright, he has Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has Jamo Williams, Sam Laporta, and I personally think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have an impact in this game, in the passing game. In the passing game, because I think he is a mismatch for those linebackers at Baltimore.
The interesting thing about that, Rand, it's kind of slanted, right? Because when you look at week 1, the Ravens, especially the second half, gave up a ton of yards to Josh Allen and the Bills. Last week, I thought they did a much better job versus Joe Flacco on the Browns, which, again, their offense has really struggled this year. So to your point, we'll see, can they get that pass rush going? Mike Green will play a lot more. Tavius Robinson will play a lot more. These are young ascending players as well. So to me, when you look at it, right, we've kind of seen a Jekyll and Hyde. Week 1, we didn't see the Lions that we're accustomed to seeing, right? Week 2, we saw them versus Chicago Bears defense that aren't no trained killers or anything like that. So this will be a really good week because I like the secondary that the Ravens have versus those pass catchers versus the Detroit Lions.
Go ahead, Randy.
No, and I would just say this. I'm hoping, I think we're all hoping that Detroit has found their stride with their new offensive coordinator, and he has now figured out how to call a game with Jared Goff and this plethora of weapons that they have.
Let's pick up on that, because last year, might surprise people to remember, they were 8-0 away from Ford Field last year with the Lions. Now, granted, they only played like 3 games outdoors, and nice
great weather.
Great weather in a lot of them, Chicago and San Francisco toward the end of the year. But to get back to your point about only 13 points at Lambeau, okay? They backtrack and go in at Ford Field and put up a big number. Why do you still have some reservations going into this game?
I just think, like what Rand talked about, you didn't just lose 1 coordinator, you lost 2. And every time there's some change, there's an acclimation period, right? It's going to take a little while for the coordinators to figure out what is the play strength of their team? Like, how do I get these players involved? So that's my reservation. Like, it's easy. I don't want to say it's easy because it's hard in the NFL, but you feel more comfortable at home. It's a lot more comfortable. And to your point last year, Tommy, 8-0 on the road, but a lot of those games weren't in inclement weather. Now, I think they did have a game later on the year versus Green Bay, but they did win in the cold, inclement weather. But they were in the comforts of great weather. So now they go to the Ravens. Early in the season will be great weather, but this is a true test versus a really good home crowd in the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, and that was the point point I was going to make. We're talking Baltimore in September.
Yeah.
Unless a rainstorm comes
Correct.
through, the weather will be
weather.
fine.
Okay.
I worry about them worrying about the crab cakes being able to get full, to get the fellas get full. But like you said, no matter what the weather is in Baltimore, that is a tough crowd to play in front of. It's going to be loud, and the best way to take the crowd out of the game is to hit explosives and get on the board quick to take that crowd out of the game.
A couple things on the Ravens. You mentioned Madubuike and Van Noy, along with Likely and Ricard. They have been ruled out. They were ruled out on Saturday. Let's get to Lamar Jackson. We were all sitting here a week ago talking about Baker Mayfield's struggles in primetime Monday night. There are no issues with Lamar Jackson when it comes to the bright lights, when they're the biggest and the brightest. Rand, what stands out to you about what he's been able to do, especially in this particular scenario?
Hey, listen, Lamar wins football games, right? He wins the games. The big question for Lamar is, can he win the big game? And Emily hit it on the lead-in of the show. This was my pick for the Super Bowl. So for me, this is a preview of the Super Bowl, and this will allow Lamar to see what this Detroit Lions defense could possibly do to defend him. But everyone wants to automatically think about Lamar as a runner, and he has improved every year as a passer, and he is now using his legs to set up his ability to throw the ball downfield. So he is becoming more of a passer, and you knew coming in, I mean, Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
And it's only so long that you're going to be able to run around, and at some point you got to be able to stand in the pocket and process and play the quarterback position. And Lamar is showing everyone that he is able to do that now.
That graphic alone is where it's at, Tommy. 22 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions on Monday Night Football. I don't know what it is about Lamar on Monday Night Football, but to your point, he wins games whether it's Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but he's been so efficient on Monday Night Football. He's the first player since Otto Graham in 1952 not only lead the quarterback position in passer rating, but in rush yards, right? The last 4 Monday Night Football games, going back to the 2022 season, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. He just plays his best football under the bright lights. And to Rand's point, everybody's always talking about his rushing ability. I just told you, he leads the NFL in NFL history in passer rating as well. So the thing that I really love, last week, the Cleveland Browns and Jim Schwartz said, you're not going to beat us running the football. We're going to put extra guys in the line of scrimmage. Lamar said, you know what? That's fine. I'll throw for 225 yards and have 4 passing touchdowns. And what I love, Rand, it wasn't just all the Zay Flowers. He got Tez Walker going in the red zone. Tylan Wallace going. And then D-Hop, people have forgotten about him. Still has electric hands. He can go up and high point the football. And they found a way to get him the ball in the red zone on some of those jump balls. So I love that he was able to spread the ball and he's not just locking into one guy.
Yeah, and because of what you said, he has other weapons at the receiver position that he can now spread the ball around. That has always been an issue in Baltimore, just in terms of the receiver position and having more than one guy to throw the ball to, or making the tight end the focal point of the passing game. Now you have all these weapons. You said the Tez Watkins and adding a DeAndre Hopkins, who you can now make as he's not the guy that he used to be that could stretch the field vertically, but he is a legitimate red zone threat because of his ability in those 50-50 situations. And you know, with those hands, those 5X gloves that he wears, you put it anywhere in the vicinity and it touches his hands, it's going to stick.
Yeah, the relationship with him and Todd Monken continue to grow. But to your guys' point, no matter what happens tonight, it's the end game for Baltimore in the postseason that's really going to decide how their season is and how fans view it. You see it down there in the graphic, by the way. Quarterback wins since 2000, the best. One game better than Josh Allen in that department. When it comes to who wins the game and why, Rand, what is going to be the difference in this one? And again, your Super Bowl preview prediction, who comes out on top tonight?
So for me tonight, I'm rolling with the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, upset.
I'm rolling with the Detroit Lions, and I'm saying that because of the names that we mentioned that are not going to play for Baltimore tonight. We talked about Nnamdi Madubuike. We talked about Kyle Van Noy. But not having Isaiah Likely is going to affect this offense as a whole. And you said it. The Cleveland Browns defense, they said, you're not running the ball on this. And with a new defensive coordinator, you bet he watched that tape. And so he's going to come out and he's going to force Lamar to throw the ball. And we know how opportunistic this Detroit Lions secondary is. And so I'm going to pick the Lions. for the regular season, and I'm gonna give you my Super Bowl prediction, and I'm rolling with Baltimore for the Super Bowl prediction.
Okay, win tonight for Detroit, but Baltimore when it's all said and done. From a gambling perspective, Lions are catching 5.5. Rand said, I don't even need the points. Money line straight up. And unsurprisingly, the highest total in the NFL this week at 53.5.
I like the over in this game, first and foremost. We talked about the offense, but I'm taking the Ravens minus 5.5. Yes, I understand that Van Noy won't be playing. Yes, I know Justin Madubuike won't be playing, but again, I just love Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football. I told you the last 4 Monday Night Footballs going back to 2024, the start of it, 4-0 straight up and 4-0 against the spread. I just think when you try to mitigate the run game, Lamar Jackson becomes one of the most efficient passers. You talked about it, Rand. Those young pass catchers, getting guys like Tez Walker to build up that confidence, getting guys like Tylan Wallace, who are mainly special teams guys, to build up that confidence, they'll be able to throw the football. And I think Derrick Henry took that personal last week. We were talking about this off camera, Rand. Now, he has had fumble issues to start this season, a fumble in each game, and that becomes a mental thing. But I just think the competitiveness of King Henry, he will want to get this run game going against the Detroit Lions. And until Lamar Jackson shows me that he can't win on Monday Night Football, I'm riding with him.
Okay, Leger and Rand on other sides of a Monday night tilt that we expect a lot of points. Fellas certainly appreciate it. A lot of the conversation surrounds the game day recap, which Rand's a big part of. Sundays at 8:30 Eastern.
I'm behind Haley.
Where my guy Rand at?
I'm behind Haley.
I'll get my camera, snap a headshot, and get you in there, Rand. You let me work on that, and we can see if we can have that a week from today.